This channel is for immature audiences only. It is not for children, only for childish adults. We might play some video games that kids also like, but we say words like fuck and shit with alarming frequency and make crude, inappropriate, and morbid jokes all the damn time. Level 0 NPCs assumes no responsibility if your idiot spawn watches this and gets traumatized.
Hi.
A long lull between episodes right there.
Hi.
Usually, like, you guys give me no time to find a spot to edit between them. Hi.
Hi.
Hi. Hi.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome back, everybody.
Welcome back.
We should
Is
probably.
there anyone we have neglected to ask Celie about at this point?
Oh, I'm done. I'm done with this. Can we not play the game anymore?
As you guys can see, Matt has not recuperated much since the last episode.
It's just walls. It's just everything's just walls. I'm frustrated, you know?
By walls?
As someone who DMs for Matt fairly often, this is not how you motivate Matt as a player.
Well, you know, look, look. Making a game is hard. Making a game back when this came out was real hard. I get it. You know, I understand. There's a lot of walls. You know what I mean? Julia, you know how many walls there are.
Certainly.
So many walls.
So abundance of walls.
And you need them, but also
everywhere you look.
It's frustrating, right? It can be
frustrating.
Sure.
Now I need to know, like, so if knowing what Matt's like, in terms of how to DM for him, if there could be a ways you could whisper to the devs for this game way back in the golden age past, what would be one thing you'd like them to change to make this more enjoyable?
Look, there's nothing they could do, because like this game is actually really well designed. It's really well put together. There's a lot of really intricate stuff that needs to happen, and all the things need to fit in. I know that. I'm just being a little stupid dick about it. That's all I'm doing. All right. He's up.
Ooh.
Oh.
What?
Kindly leave my room.
Can we look at him? What's he doing?
Examine him. Stop
Kiss
going through his stress. Yeah.
Wear Jeeves' underwear on head.
You could
dance around.
Now that
lie down on bed.
So we do have self-awareness.
Jeeves is trying to enjoy the privacy of his own room.
Can you read that again, but really like emphasis trying? Jeeves is trying to enjoy the privacy of his own room. There you go. Yeah, that felt good to me.
Sniff bed.
Ooh.
Figured I'd make it creepy. Yeah.
Well, sniff his. Go to his toilet.
Obviously.
You gotta sniff his toilet.
Well, I wasn't gonna go sniff it, but yeah, okay.
Can we use it while he's there?
While he's there. Just casually sit down, have a pee, talk to him.
Lift. Seat. It's not clear. Sit on can.
Look toilet.
Look toilet. That's Jeeves' toilet. If you need to use one, go upstairs.
We really gotta go, like, right now.
We gotta go.
Use Jeeves' toilet. That's Jeeves' toilet.
I had to
if
pee.
You need to use one, go upstairs.
And if you have to go upstairs, you have to pee that
anyway.
bad. Yeah, let's do this.
This game does not understand pee.
Ooh. Can we sit with him?
Ooh.
Rifle. Medicine cabinet.
Can we wash our hands? Our cake hands?
Again, it didn't make much sense. Open medicine cabinet. There's nothing you need in Jeeves' medicine cabinet. Wow.
I think we can wash our hands, but our hands will dissolve into mush.
Yeah, and we'll run screaming.
Go upstairs if you want to do
Jeeves.
That.
And
talk to him.
Fine.
Really, really bond with him.
Tell about murder.
Please leave.
Oh, he doesn't mean that. Can
Wait.
we ask him about? Can we ask him about Doctor? Can we ask him about Flamingo?
I'm tired and I don't want to converse. Wait, Laura, wait. I love you. Jeeves, you've done it again.
Anger is my love language.
You've screwed it up again. You'll always be alone, Jeeves. Always.
Oh, there that is again.
Yeah.
Spending a lot of time just walking around back and forth in front of those windows.
Now, Celie said that Fifi and Jeeves might have a thing. So, what's Fifi up to right now?
That's an
Oh, the
excellent question.
fiefs.
Let's go find out.
The Fiefers.
She's like shaving her legs or something. I don't know.
Hey, you guys want a Colonel's Bequestion? It is that
Yes.
time,
Let's do
after
it.
all. You know.
I have prepped not at all this time, and it was so long ago since I
Excellent.
read them that I can't. I don't know anything now.
You are now becoming truly one of the levels of
Yes,
NPCs.
I feel like I've acquired the office culture.
Yeah, you now know.
Yeah,
You now know.
Exactly.
I'm just gonna wait and see what happens with Fifi here. The Fifi. Oh my.
And Rudy.
Oh.
What the fuck?
Stop it, leave me alone. Get out of my room now.
You'll regret that, you little vixen! Ah! Here I go.
Wow.
Not a nice man.
I'm Skeletor!
Why not?
Please, mademoiselle, let me rest.
She just immediately went to sleep.
Wow. I am asleep.
Honkashoe.
Yes. Okay. Can we get the Colonel's Bequestion theme? Lear.
Go on.
No, you have to do that, Luke. You have to do that. That's
Colonel's questions.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's on
Sorry,
you.
I was busy
That's
leering.
no, I get it.
That's
That's more important.
You're usually trigger happy on that. Oh, beautiful.
Oh, yeah.
Beautiful. Spivey Lou. Even
that's it.
she even had the Colonel's Bequestion with the scream. That's nice. It's nice. That was not planned. There's no way I could have predicted which one he was going to play. It just worked out. Colonel's Bequestion scream. If you were playing Laura in a D&D campaign, what would be her alignment, class, and contribution to the party? Well, she would have to be a special race.
Yeah, she's a construct.
She's a
Yeah.
she's a construct. Yeah. She's like a
So,
war.
Alex, what would be the most appropriate Pathfinder race or creature type for Laura?
The only we still play Pathfinder First Edition.
Mm-hmm.
At our group. The only playable construct race in that is the Wirewood, which is like a little wooden construct. I think Pathfinder 2nd Edition published a more generic automaton race.
Mm.
And I guess like you could use Paizo also had an android race for Pathfinder 1E. And like you wouldn't want to be either an android or a wooden creature, but statistically they have like construct traits that would allow you to play a horrible cake golem if you wanted to. I would use the stats for one of those probably.
Yeah, and like 5e has like Warforged. So you could just mess around and be cake forged.
War baked.
War baked.
I actually think Pathfinder 2e had like a poppet, like a lesser construct kind of thing.
Mm.
Alignment wise, she'd be like kind of depends. Like, we play are pretty chaotic, but in terms of what Laura will and won't do when we input commands, it's kind of like I'm kind of leaning lawful neutral, you know?
There's rules for a pancake golem. Yeah. I'm not proud of it, but I found it. Which means if there's
For what edition?
In it's on the D&D wiki. It's a homebrew. So somebody made it. Somebody made it. So you could do it. It's an easy thing to do. So yeah,
that's what I might do if I really wanted to play a cake person. I'd probably find the relevant like character abilities and talk to the DM. Pathfinder has like a good little DM/player guide for generating custom races. Although what race she would be, what fantasy race Laura Bow would be, was actually not part of Spivey's question.
No, but we just clearly cake. You know,
start there.
I'd probably say lawful neutral in alignment.
Yeah, there's nothing chaotic about her at all.
It's true.
No, I don't think so. And it's not that I think she's, villainous or anything. She just doesn't strike me as quite the paladin type either.
No. There's no good in her heart. But there is law. What?
Laura mostly.
Jesus Christ.
We should have some background music.
Wow.
Just letting her little Victrola play.
Did that just start up like spontaneously?
Whenever
It might
I'm
have been frozen when I was in the dialogue window.
Whenever I'm building a character or helping someone else build a character, my first question is always, what do you want your character to be good at? I find a lot of people, when they're starting out building a character, they don't necessarily ask themselves that question, and so they end up a character that's just kind of a pile of stuff. So it's an obvious question, but I find it to be a good one to start with. Laura's good at, like, detecting. She's a detective, you know? Or at least that's what she does in these games, is she's a solver of mysteries. She doesn't go around fighting people.
A relative term.
Yeah.
Theoretically, she's good at this.
Theoretically, that's how she interacts with the world.
Yeah.
She investigates things. She asks probing questions. So if I were making a character to investigate stuff, I would probably go with a bard or maybe a rogue. Something with a lot of skills and not necessarily the most stopping power combat-wise.
Especially
Pathfinder
for
has a
someone
class
who
that-
doesn't have a violent nature.
Yes, it's true. Pathfinder has a class called an investigator that is for playing a detective, basically.
It's
It's
true.
it's a cool class. They sort of made it as a hybrid of an alchemist and a rogue.
Also, like, clearly she's got a low charisma. Because everybody tells her to fuck off as soon as they see her.
She's not necessarily good with people, so like rogue or some kind of there's ranger archetypes that are about dealing with people and working in urban environments too.
What would her stats be like exactly? Because she would definitely be low charisma.
Low charisma, low strength.
Like wisdom and intelligence
Like
are good
low
for investigating.
constitution.
Very low constitution.
Wisdom is usually for like perceiving things and sensing motives, and intelligence is more for knowing about things and deduction.
Her physical stats are going to be limited by her cake body. And she would not have a constitution score as a construct.
Interesting.
Yeah, her constitution would be just dash.
And her contribution to the party? Well, you'd have to have a very specific party. This music is making me feel like Julia listening to the Rockford Files. I'm gonna
I
die.
think it's Lydia the Tattooed Lady.
I think so too.
In MIDI.
Yeah.
Matt actually ran a detective game in which I played
that's so
an
cool.
investigator in Pathfinder, and it was a good game. We were quite fond of the game and the characters. I think we stopped playing because it was too stressful. Matt was weaving a very dark narrative, and it was just like it was stressful to interact with stuff. And anyway, it's one of those games that we did a few sessions of it, and then we ultimately we went back to playing something more fun.
Yeah, I had a lot. Here's the thing: you really need to have everybody on board. If half the people are on board, it doesn't work.
Yeah, when I say fun, I mean whimsical. we went to play stuff that was a bit more like lighthearted. Because at the end of a long week, a dark murder mystery was not always what we were in the mood for.
And there were people there that just were not.
Again, with
they
Gloria
weren't
passing
into
the
it.
time. No,
I figure if Matt doesn't want to hear Lydia the Tattooed Lady again, well, we'll come and listen to Victor on this round.
This is better.
does anyone else see the big dark gray rectangle in the screen, or is it just me?
Oh yeah, don't pay any attention to that.
Okay.
Oh, okay. That's just the media player overlaid over the thing. We just need to mention that.
We don't talk about the gray rectangle because.
Okay, I'm so sorry.
No, it's okay because like the people at home can't see it. It's just us.
Oh.
It's just for us, Julia.
Just for us.
Yeah.
A common attribute shared by both editions of Pathfinder as well as D&D 5e is that most of the rules are about combat interactions.
Yeah.
Which like sort of makes sense. Like if you're trying to defeat someone in a physical contest, there's lots of rules, tactics that you might do for that. And as combat heavy systems, like most of your options for every class are about how you deal with another person in combat. There's probably other RPGs that are more centered around like interactions and mystery solving and stuff like that.
So yeah, in a party, she would basically make everybody else sort of fall asleep while she did her investigations.
I think there is a bard archetype that you do it's something like it's an archivist archetype where you bore people to sleep with a tedious lecture. If memory serves, it might even be an intelligence-based bard archetype.
Oh god, you got it. I can't deal with this.
Yeah, the music is pretty loud, actually.
It's very loud.
I can't think.
I can't think. Oh Jesus. Oh Jesus. Okay.
Yeah, there we go.
Whoa. Hey, we gotta do. Hey, that's what I think. You guys have any other opinions? That Alex is very knowledgeable on this, but you guys have any opinions for Laura and D&D? Even if she wasn't made out of cake, that's what she would be.
Yeah, I think
we
so.
know she is, of course, but
yeah, rogue, ranger, something like that, something skilly.
Yeah,
probably not a wizard.
Fun for Algernon, Colonel's Bequestion. How much more credit should Roberta Williams get for designing several games with female lead protagonists when practically no one else was doing it? I think it's a massively underappreciated, and Sierra's slow, sad death is one of the big reasons why. Yeah, absolutely. Like, was anybody, like, nobody was doing that, right?
It's true. Yeah, I mean, Roberta Williams... Oh, one moment. A weather-beaten dock extends from the island's edge out into the alligator-infested bayou. Toward the center of the island, you can see the old plantation house. I just came out here, for a little change of scenery.
That's fair.
Push boxes into one.
Place boxes into mouth.
Sorry for interrupting. Let's continue the conversation.
Yeah. Roberta Williams. Mm-hmm. Female protagonists. Nobody else doing it.
Absolutely. I mean, like, I'm trying to think because it was a very different sort of era in video games in general. And I'm wondering, like, were the late 80s and early 90s as sort of bereft of female protagonist characters? I mean, this was a smaller games market in the first place, right? There were just a lot fewer video games being made at the time. So one could almost even theoretically argue that the ratio of games with female protagonists might have been higher just by merit of Sierra having a number of them.
Yeah.
Well, not really a number of them. Laura Bow, like
Rosella.
At least around this era, though, like the late, was this SGI?
Yes.
Era? Yeah.
Like, SCI. 1989.
Yeah, SCI. Yeah, thank you.
This game came out in 1989?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's about as old as Taylor Swift.
It's
Oh.
true. I think. Honestly, I actually don't know much about Taylor.
I know nothing about Taylor Swift.
Sounds
I thought
about
she was.
right,
I thought she'd be
age-wise.
younger, actually, but I don't know anything about her.
She was
Younger.
younger.
Oh
yeah, so was I.
I have a young relative who's obsessed with Taylor Swift, so I've had to learn a lot about Taylor Swift.
Well, fair enough.
Tell us something cool about Taylor Swift, because I don't know anything about her.
She is very popular.
That's not
Yeah.
cool.
I mean,
I guess it depends on what you mean by cool.
A cool fact that would be interesting.
I have such a profound disinterest in music. I guess all of her back catalog was it for complicated legal reasons fell into the ownership of just some asshole like production guy, and so she's been re-recording all of her old songs and re-releasing them, which is kind of genius because the new recordings are better anyway because they're like modern with like modern production techniques. And it's like a surge of popularity because anyone who's a fan is like, yeah, that's great. The parentheses Taylor's version of this song is much better. It's also a way to like sell a bunch of new songs without having to write a bunch of new songs. So yeah, I thought that was quite a clever solution to the problem. That asshole who bought all of her music he just kind of owns the shitty version of every song that nobody listens to.
Wow, that is kind of cool.
And she has abysmal relationships. Her relationships are chaotic and horrible. Every one of them.
I remember, yeah, when she was on SNL and she did like a song that was friggin' like 9 minutes or something. It's like that wasn't cool.
yeah.
The only thing I really know about Taylor Swift is I read recently that she is among a very select few number of successful artists that have made the transition from country music to pop.
Yeah, she
That's cool.
she has a wide variety of like music genres in her catalog. I think her stuff's pretty good. I'm actually going to see her next year.
Are you serious?
No, fair enough.
Oh, cool.
It's actually quite funny because there was a queue. It was open for like 24 hours. And like millions of people went in to get the queue. And when the queue ended, every ticket was sold. And now there are no more tickets. Like a percentage, like a tiny percentage of the people who wanted tickets got them. Like they sold out instantly. And one of those tickets is mine.
How did that happen?
You don't even care.
It's so funny. Like I don't listen to music at all. Only like I just got back from a road trip to Cape Breton for a family reunion. And I installed Spotify on my phone because we just couldn't get it to work on my partner's phone. And I've never played music on my phone before. I had to figure out how to do it all for the first time. I had no idea how to get music to play on my phone or how any of it worked. Because I just don't listen to music ever, let alone to Taylor Swift. And so like if I shut my eyes, I can hardly conjure an image of what Taylor Swift even looks like. I couldn't really give you a line from any one of her songs. And I am one of the people who's going to see it. And so many people didn't. So many people desperately wanted to go and can't. And instead of those people, it's going to be me.
Oh.
You know, I bet no one thought that we would have a segment on Taylor Swift today.
No.
That's wonderful.
Not even us.
Like,
No.
we didn't know. I'm going to go see another concert with Alex this weekend.
Oh my goodness,
We're
Alex!
I know.
Music.
Yeah, these will be the second and third concerts I've ever attended.
Yeah, we're going to see Dreamcatcher, the K-pop group. I freaking love them. God, so much. So yeah, I can't wait. We're going to Montreal. It's gonna be fun.
Wait, like when I was like 16 or something like that, like a decade ago, over a decade ago. When I was a good little Christian boy, I went to see the Newsboys in Maine.
The Newsboys.
Who are they?
They're a Christian rock band,
Cool.
from the 80s.
Wow.
that was back. It was actually the last show where Jeff Frankenstein was still their lead vocalist.
I'm sorry. Is that his real name?
I think so.
Wow.
Could be a stage name. I don't know. That's what he goes by anyway.
Jeff
Anyway, so that was the
Frankenstein.
first concert I ever went to see. It was a pretty good show, if I recall. I was a kid. Anyway, I haven't been to a concert since. I'm going to see one in 2 days with Matt.
So, the Newsboys, Dreamcatcher, Taylor Swift. Wow.
Yeah. That's
and Taylor Swift as a non-Swiftie.
No, it'll be my third ever concert.
I think
Aw.
it's funny that maybe you were the biggest fan of the Newsboys of all three of those.
Yeah, there's it's sad, but it is true. I did listen to them a lot. Like when I was younger, I listened to music. I just kind of stopped doing it.
Yeah, so what happened there with that?
I have a number of neurological problems,
Mhm.
and one of those is musical anhedonia. I think I've talked about it on the show before. But basically, I don't experience any of the things that people experience when they hear music. So it's just like sounds.
Mhm.
And as I entered adulthood, I found that everyone was mean about music all of the time. It's just one of those subjects, kind of like politics or religion, where everyone feels entitled to be mean.
About people's music tastes, yeah.
People are like instinctively cruel about music, and I don't really understand why. But anyway, so I just stopped listening to it altogether.
I think
I'll listen to.
people get really attached to their music, right? And you know, like anything, if something doesn't fit in there, people get pissy about it. It's stupid.
I think
it's a stupid reason.
I think also it's part of it is subjective music.
Oh yeah.
And because people experience, I gather, like an emotional response to music, people I think can get defensive about that because they had this emotional response. There must be something objective about it rather than subjective. That's what I gather anyway. I don't know. I have a number of neurological problems like that. Like Matt discovered the other day that I'm stereo blind. So there's several important like modules that were never installed in my brain apparently.
What does stereo blind mean?
It just means I don't resolve what I see into a 3-dimensional image. It's just like it's flat.
Yeah.
So
No depth perception.
Alex,
Or-
yeah, he has no depth perception. He sees everything as if it's a flat picture.
I have depth perception in the sense that I can tell how far away things are, but I do it by parallax. So like whenever I go to a 3D movie, for years, my entire life till I was like 33 years old, every time I went to a 3D movie, I was like, this is just such a giant scam. Like I didn't understand why people paid for them, because you go to the movie and it's blurry and shitty, and then you put the glasses on and it becomes normal. It just becomes a regular movie. It just restores itself to flatness. But no, apparently other people see a 3D image when they do that, whereas I don't. I have to tell how far away things are by parallax. By the way, distant objects move at a different speed, and I assume that's what everyone did.
It's madness that we didn't find this out sooner.
Well, I worked at a VR company. You'd think that would have made it obvious,
think,
but
right?
It didn't matter. It probably explains why I was so prone to VR sickness.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you were, oh my God, that totally is it, right? Because you were getting different images in your eyes and your brain could not figure it out.
Yeah, I got so sick so quickly.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, so female protagonists.
Way to bring it back.
So,
Yeah.
Samus Aran,
Samus Aran, yeah.
right? But even then, she turned into, her suit blew off and she had a bikini on at the end. So, I don't know if it was...
I mean, you know, like we're already sort of scratching a very sort of shallow barrel, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's so true. Like in '89, Golden Axe came out, so you had the female warrior. That's it.
Yep.
You know, there's probably more, but like, there wasn't a lot happening. They weren't characters per se, you know.
Mm-hmm. I suppose also sort of around that time you'll have had, although not like sole protagonists,
like, you know, the video game adaptations of like Dragonlance, for example, where like you'd get all of those characters.
Yeah.
But of course, it was like Caramon and Raceland were still like the main characters of that. And goodness, I'm racking my brain here, and I'm usually pretty good about video game trivia, so it's surprising myself here. But yeah, it might just be that there is not a strong showing of sort of female protagonists in old school video games.
You know, Roberta Williams, absolutely a pioneer. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, I remember...
And deserves the credit.
Absolutely.
For pioneering...
Hundo P. When did
as well as many other fucking things. Like, let's absolutely credit where credit is due on, like, pioneering having sort of female protagonists in video games. But, like, she was a pioneer of so many things in video games.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know, let's not put all of the eggs in a single basket. Like, without her, modern narrative video games probably wouldn't be what they are.
Oh, absolutely. You know? Absolutely. When did King's Quest 4 come out?
4?
Yeah.
Let's look at this.
Was that like 90? It was after this one, right?
No, I think it was before. It was before. I think
was
1988, a year before.
It was 88. It was a year before this.
Yeah.
Okay, so like Rosella was already thinking. And I remember being a young boy and playing King's Quest 4, and I remember having the thought as I was playing it, you know, when you get like Genesta the fairy and things are happening, I remember going, this is pretty girly. This is super girly. But I was kind of into it. It's like, whatever, I'm fine. This is fine. And I loved it. I loved that game. You know, played it multiple times. It was awesome. But it was good. It was a nice, like, it was pretty freaking fantastic. Yeah. But it was girly. There were parts of that were real girly.
It was real girly, and of course I loved it too, because like fairy princesses, like, come on.
Yeah, right?
You know? What's better than a fairy lady with butterfly wings? So
absolutely. Good. And you're fighting like an evil witch, and
oh, that's true. Yeah.
It's freaking great.
It's
freaking great.
Aside from playing King's Quest 2 at a friend's house, by which I mean like being there as they played, I think King's Quest 6 was my first King's Quest, so I missed that one entirely.
Oh yeah, no, I played 1, 2, 3, and 4, and my Tandy couldn't handle 5, so we had to that's where we stopped for a while.
It was the shift to VGA.
Yeah, couldn't do it. My parents didn't know.
Shift.
My parents didn't know, so it was actually the worst thing because they actually bought it for us for Christmas. And we were like, oh, yeah, I love King's Quest. I can't wait to play the new one. Nothing. Wouldn't happen. Didn't happen.
That's so brutal.
It was. It was.
That was Prince of Persia 3D for me. Didn't have a 3D card in my computer, in my laptop.
Yeah.
So, yep.
I think, everybody's got to have a story like that, right?
I have a vague memory of receiving a Game Boy cartridge for Game Boy Color and being able to play it on my Game Boy Pocket, despite it being an older console.
Huh.
Wow.
Like, I seem to recall the person at the store saying, like, saying something along the lines of, yes, sometimes the color cartridges will work on a regular Game Boy. And I mean, I was a kid, so like, you know, might as well have been magic. I don't know how it works and doesn't. But it seems crazy to me thinking back on it, that just socketing a Game Boy Color cartridge into a Game Boy Pocket and having it still play. Or the idea that they would sometimes work and sometimes not. All of that is very strange to me. But, either I'm misremembering or that was true.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. Good.
The only thing I had queued up for era appropriate video game protagonist was Samus from Metroid.
Yeah. Yep. and there's a few more, and back and when the 90s started, that's when things started rolling. Things started getting going. Got, Lara Croft. Things started going. But yeah.
When did Street Fighter 2 come out?
That's a good point. Yeah. And Final Fantasy, right?
Well, the Final Fantasy games, yeah. Particularly, I think, yeah. Well, in Japan, I think you got female protagonist characters sooner. You got sort of secondary characters in Final Fantasy 4/2, in Rosa and Rydia, or Rydia, I guess. I think it's pronounced. Anyway, it doesn't matter. Where yeah.
1991 is Street Fighter 2.
91. Okay, so the world got Chun-Li for the first time in 1992.
Yeah, there you go. It was yeah. So yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
A lot more credit. In addition, she should get a lot more credit for almost everything across the board. She's the fact that most gaming nerds under a certain age just don't even know her name is shitty.
I saw the most disappointing review of Colossal Cave the other day.
What was?
I'm not going to go too deep into it, but I don't even remember why I was watching it. But it was I think it was disappointing game launches of 2023 first half or something like that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and Colossal Caves was in there, and the guy was really archaic design, and should have modernized it a whole bunch, and don't understand the design decisions, and I'm that completely misses the point of the project. But anyway.
Oh yeah. Well, listen, Seth Wilson. Sorry, go ahead.
When you guys were ambiguously talking about all the things Roberta Williams deserved credit for, I was picturing things like, discovering the Archaeopteryx and inventing Ackerman's steering geometry.
All of that.
Just
everything.
Just insane non sequitur stuff.
The newspaper.
The printing press.
Yep.
She did make a lot of games starring female protagonists, but let's not forget that she also pioneered the use of atomic sputtering to coat things in gold.
Of course. Electroplating before that. Hey, listen, serious question from Seth Wilson. Do y'all think foot onions would cure a cough for a person made out of cake? And then Joseph Davies brought up a good point. Can cake people even cough?
That's a good question.
We
don't have any evidence supporting one way or the other.
No, here's the thing. Crumbs are always falling down into her lungs, her cake lungs. She doesn't cough, and she can't get viruses. So no.
I feel like when you inhale to cough, you are storing a lot of potential energy in a more gradual way, and then expelling it all at once by using your various sphincters to hold back the air and then release it all at once.
Yes.
And I feel like that would just about destroy a cake person.
Yeah. But
I feel like you wouldn't get that big concussive sound. You would just get the very soft sound of tearing cake flesh.
By the way, foot onions cured my cough entirely. It's gone.
That's amazing. Thank you for the foot onion update. I'd forgotten to ask.
It's done. It's gone. I did it another time. It went away.
Foot onions as a cure for illness and sentient cake. These are both conversations about sorcery. So how they're going to interact, I don't know. Sure.
Yeah. Who knows?
How does any sorcery interact with any other sorcery?
Who knows, right? All right. We're on to this. Oh, wait, we still got a couple more. God. By the way,
go.
Citizen Scribbler, thank you for remembering Earthstar Voyager. Thank God. So many cool people in that. That's not true. Just a couple. Julia Montgomery from Revenge of the Nerds in that. Anyway, it's amazing. It's amazing. Anyway, the 90s Flash series and Captain Power for childhood favorites that didn't catch on. I loved Captain Power. Did you know Captain Power was
Captain
a TV show in the 80s, and you could buy toys and shoot at the screen, and you'd be able to like
What?
shoot the guys. It was awesome.
Yep.
What? Okay, wait. Okay, so was it? Okay, wait. The toy. So what is the toy? Is the toy an electronic toy?
It's
Is it
an-
like a light gun?
It's
What is this?
It's exactly that. It's an electronic toy with a light gun inside, right?
Okay.
So you could only shoot at certain things. Also, this was the first TV show to have a fully CG character in it, who's my favorite character. He's like
Sauron.
he was like a fucking bird man.
He was like a pterodactyl dude.
He was
With
like
metal. He was just all made of metal.
yeah,
And he would digitize you.
he was fucking great. He was awesome. I was a huge fan.
Okay, so this light gun, so you would be able to shoot it during the show. What would happen when you shot it during the show?
So you could shoot it during the show, and you could shoot at the enemy ships. And if you hit them, you'd get like a score. You'd get like a, you know, it would tell you that you hit something, right? But they could shoot you too. So if they shot you and they hit you, your guy would like. Maybe I'm remembering this completely wrong. But
I don't remember the other direction.
No, I'm pretty sure.
I didn't have the toys from Captain Power, but I did catch it on TV as a kid. But yeah, like, although you were definitely sold a very different bill of goods when they were advertising Captain Power, because it was billed as like a fully interactive experience, and I guarantee you, myself included, that there were children who believed that if you shot the screen with the official Captain Power stuff, the story might change.
Yes, that is not true though.
Not even a
The
little
AR elements are still very ahead of their time, though. Especially for a game that's 2 years older than Taylor Swift.
Okay.
God. Okay. How come this didn't catch on? How come this is not a thing anymore still?
Well, the show was pretty bad.
Okay.
And it just was. I think it was really expensive to produce because they had a fully CGI character in 1987. And they did. It did. You could fire the toy at the screen, and I remember this. You had hit points, and when you lost all your hit points, the cockpit would eject, and your guy would fly out. It was fucking awesome.
I see a toy ad of it. Yeah, I see the.
It was awesome.
This whole thing looks like a big old Matt trap. Like if I were trying to like trick a childhood Matt into doing stuff, this is what I would
like.
make.
Here's the funny thing, right? Like it's a trap for me now, but it's one of those things that made me. You know what I mean? Like I am the way I am because of Captain Power.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I've never heard of Captain Power. When you initially started describing it, I thought it was animated. And so when I Googled Captain Power, it could not have been any farther from what I was
crazy,
imagining. This is wild.
Isn't it?
Whoa.
Yeah. Yeah. And yeah, Sauron.
This is like when you told me about Mask, because I thought I was relatively well versed in 80s cartoons, and then you showed me Mask, and it was like I was having some kind of fit. Like I couldn't believe what was happening.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh man, what a world.
Why didn't this tech catch on though? Like, why didn't other shows do this? This is amazing.
Isn't it cool? And I had the Sauron toy there, the metallic bird. He was fucking CG. I thought he was the coolest goddamn thing.
He is though,
especially when you'd never seen that shit before.
Never.
Like Lawnmower Man and fucking like I don't remember the series. There were a couple of VHS tapes that were like just concept pieces of 3D animation.
Yeah.
I had one of those and it was great. I watched the shit out of that.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was though.
So
it's like music and like 3D animation accompaniment.
Yeah.
It's great.
I don't understand how this works. I can't even begin to start to try to understand.
So like there's a static or something, or just like a flashing pattern on like Sauron's chest. I think he was almost like a centurion in that way. And like on the enemy ships and stuff like that. And they would cut to those things, and if you shot
much like the light gun in
Mhm.
like Duck Hunt.
Mhm.
Yeah.
You know, it would pick up on the signal or on the sort of pattern, and it would award you points.
But I think if
it's sensor
if you
sense
if
the
you
thing.
if you pointed your gun and you didn't fire, and it did its blink first, it would get a
Mhm.
point on you.
Right. Okay.
So it was like you had to sit there in front of the TV with your toy, and I didn't have any of the VHS, so we had to wait until the show was on.
Oh my goodness.
And it was just like, it was a big deal, right? Because you went, and we didn't have very many Captain Power toys. Like, we had like one, and damn, it was so good.
I had no idea. That's really interesting. I suppose if it was like a light gun, you could probably point it at other sorts of things and technically score points on it, because the technology would have pretty easily mistaken other things for the pattern.
Almost certainly.
Absolutely.
Like I think you can point a Duck Hunt light gun at like a white piece of paper or something like that and
Yep.
win
Yep.
at Duck Hunt.
But it was less fun. Like, you obviously wanted to do it during the show.
No kidding.
No, it seems kind of brilliant. I guess I can kind of see why it didn't catch on, because you need a pretense for it.
Yeah.
You know, they had to have the technology built into the episodes and built into the toy, and a lot of other shows of that era were not necessarily that well thought out, where like some company bought a bunch of like Japanese cartoons and toys and mashed them together, and like Transformers would have like a shitty Transformer that never got made into a toy, and other shitty Transformers that were only there because they were toys. There's not so much forethought into how the toy's going to interact with the show.
Oh
and stuff
yeah.
like that.
So this was a crazy idea, and I can't believe they actually pulled it off. Big fan. I was a big fan, and you know, and it was one of those things. It was very short lived, right? Because like it was like, I remember it being like popular over a summer, and then it was just done.
Yeah, it did not last, and it was an extremely expensive production, and like, you know, I think it either did or at least almost ruined the production company.
Yes.
that was making it.
Doesn't surprise me, but
There was a whole episode about Captain Power on Toy Galaxy, which is a YouTube channel that I watch frequently.
yes.
It's sort of one of those things for people who are 8 to 10 years older than Taylor Swift.
Yeah, absolutely.
It was targeted to people around that old.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
So you're saying to me, if you paid extra money to get a backstage experience with Taylor Swift, and you brought up Captain Power, she would have no idea what
She would
you're
have
talking
no
about.
idea what you mean.
Unlikely.
Yeah.
Unlikely.
But she probably...
I mean, she could be like secretly very passionate about old media. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything
that's
about
why I
Taylor
say
Swift.
unlikely. Like, yeah,
It's
maybe
one of the
she's
many
really into
reasons
that.
it's an outrage that I'm going to see her next year instead of so many other people.
Yeah, it is.
The-
It's great.
The amazing part there is, you know, I'm very confident that Alex is going to go and do this, as opposed to like scalp the ticket and make a hefty profit off of it too.
You could probably make a lot of money.
I'm helping to chaperone a young
Okay.
relative there.
Okay.
My partner and I are taking a young relative to go see Taylor
Aw.
Swift. That's the yeah. So like,
You can't just ditch the relative and just take the money and.
yes, I'm kind of the muscle of the expedition,
Right.
because I have to go to Toronto to the thing. Like,
Oh, Toronto!
I just
USA.
yeah, I'd just let the two of them go, but they kind of need a third
Do you
guy.
think Taylor Swift knows how much tomatoes cost? Like, do
Wait,
you think she has any idea? Like, I was like,
Like Lucille Bluth.
yeah, yeah, exactly, right? Like, I, of course she doesn't know what Captain Power is, but I'm not sure she knows how much like tomatoes cost or milk. Like, I don't, you know, and it's not her fault. It's
I bet if she thought about it, she could probably guess pretty close.
yeah,
But it's probably not right there on the top of her
no,
mind.
yeah. All right. Anyway, we have a question for Krull.
Oh goodness. Okay, hold
Hit
on a
me.
sec.
Wait, no, you're gonna have to find it.
I have to find it.
Is
Yeah,
there
so
a thing
there
to
it is.
find? Ooh.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Yay!
Okay, so let's address this right now. Okay,
Mhm, mhm.
it is September. It is
It is the beginning the Ides
Yes,
of Krull.
it is. And we're not doing it yet, but it's coming. It's coming, guys. It's coming. So this might be our last Colonel's Bequest for a little bit. But
No, the Ides is the middle.
yeah.
There must be a word for the beginning, though, right? Like this is a similar
Yeah,
type
must.
of a word.
We'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just accept it into your heart. Anyway, question for Krull. From Citizen Scribbler again. I was rewatching the theatrical trailer for Krull the other day, and it stated that the Beast and Slayers came from the future.
What?
What the... Like how? Were we not led to believe that the child of our heroes would rule the galaxy? Is the Beast their own son? What's going on? So, here's the thing. This is kind of a teaser because I think we're going to probably get into that.
Probably. Krull, anything can happen.
Anything can happen in Krull, but I will make sure that we're definitely going to deal with that. The Beast and the Slayers come from the future. That's awesome. Alex, what are your opinions on that?
I'm trying to find the
trailer
question for Krull.
It's on the it's episode 10. You have to expand Citizen Scribbler's 10-year-old Earth Star Voyager comment.
Oh, there it is. Yep, I see it.
It's all tucked away down there.
Yeah. I don't know if I've actually seen, and this is shameful, I don't know if I've seen the actual theatrical trailer for Krull. I just went, right to business and watched Krull itself.
Smart.
I don't recall any indication at all in the film that the Slayers and the
It may
Beast are
never
from
have
the
been
future.
mentioned, yeah.
That
That could just be marketing bullshit.
Maybe it's from the novelization.
It's possible.
Is
I
it
have
based
the
on
novel.
anything? Yeah, like is it based
I can
on
tell
like a play or a novel or an opera or something? Like
No, the
That's one of
novel
the
is
incredible
based on
things
it.
about Krull. It's not.
No, you'll see. You'll see.
Krull is in a category along with Fifth Element,
Hmm.
in that it's just someone's crazy ass idea.
nice.
It's great. And it's
Sprung fully formed from the head of Zeus.
oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's definitely, a little Star Wars. It's
A
definitely
little.
It's sprung half formed from the mind.
it's definitely a little Star Wars. Yeah.
And wasted all of its money on set creation
Nice.
Oh.
Nice.
and the relative affordability of a young Liam Neeson.
I've never seen this. I don't know. Like when am I supposed to see this? How am I supposed to see
Okay,
this?
we're gonna have to talk about this after we're done
Yeah,
recording
yeah,
tonight because
yeah,
we
yeah,
really
yeah.
need to get together for our
I'm super
recording.
pumped. I'm super pumped.
Yeah,
Yeah, we have to basically strategize whether Julia watches Krull before some of our recording stuff, during or after.
It means we're probably gonna have to start with the commentary track, and I'm cold.
The commentary track would be good because it would be Julia's live reaction
Yes.
to a movie that we've all seen. That's some very unique content.
That's awesome. All right. And I know, and little behind the scenes stuff. Luke tried to get this going like a few weeks ago, and we just ignored it. Sorry.
It has, in our defense, been a bumpy
couple weeks.
It's actually going to be a bumpy next few
Yeah.
weeks, because no sooner will I return from the Dreamcatcher thing than I have to rent this apartment and move into another.
Oh, Lord, it's going to be a thing, but we're going to do it. Krull Temper cannot fall by the wayside.
The more I hear about it, the more excited I get. Like I didn't know Liam Neeson was in this, and
Oh.
Liam Neeson is kind of
Oh, yeah.
amazing. So
The best part about Krull is that every time I forget that Liam Neeson, and on some level I believe he won't be there this time, and then he shows up and I was like, oh, I guess he didn't have time to pay his people to have him edited out of every digital copy of Krull.
Yeah. It's good, guys. It's good.
I think the best part of it is Liam Neeson is not even at all very important.
He's not important at all. He's not important at all.
He is memorable, though.
He is.
He's
He's
one
there.
of the most memorable
There.
bandits.
He has lines.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
one
he's
of
a
the few that
bandit.
survive.
He has a personality. He doesn't survive.
Yeah,
he lives till the end, but he doesn't live.
Everything you're
Oh, that's
telling
right.
me makes me more excited. Like he doesn't tend to play like bandits, really. You know?
Oh yeah.
Kind of amazing.
He's one of the only bandits who has a personality. The rest of them just have a signature weapon.
Yeah.
It's true.
That's true.
And
Robbie,
They're- Unforgettable
they must
signature
have
weapon.
been hoping that there were going to be action figures.
yeah, the Bandit King has one. He has got a personality. Robbie Coltrane has a personality.
Robbie Coltrane's in it too.
most of the bandits have a signature weapon and a horrible death. That's the two. Like their
Signature
deaths
weapon,
are
signature death.
Also,
the most memorable thing about the bandits is how each of them dies.
I think there's also like so many stupid haircuts in that movie, and
Yes.
I'm so okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, look. Carl Temper's here. All right.
Back to Citizen Scribbler's question. I don't think the movie gives any indication that they're from the future, but it does speak about knowledge from the future. Like there's prophecies and stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe part of the reason there's a policy about how the child, the prophetic child, is going to rule the galaxy.
Yeah. Which means that like if the beast is their son, that's a little fucked up because I didn't get the impression that his relationship with the princess there was a mom and son type relationship.
Uh-oh.
No. Also, the reason I put that stank on the word galaxy is that is what Krull says, that their son will rule the galaxy. And galaxy is the wrong order of magnitude for that movie. Even world sounds too big.
Yeah. Anyway, I can't wait.
I can't wait.
Okay.
And that's about all the time that we have in this episode.
We do have a Colonel's question for Julia, but yeah, we are running over time.
Oh.
Let's field the Colonel's question. It's for Julia, so she'll answer.
Okay.
I will try with no prep.
Okay. This is Natal Miral. It says, "Hey, Colonel's question for Julia. As Nancy Maple is heavily inspired by Laura Bow, should we expect any cakish deaths in the Crimson
dear.
Diamond?"
Okay, well, there is a death in the full game that kind of is like one of the Laura Bow deaths. I might even get to say a little bit of a yes. A little bit of a yes.
A little bit of a yes.
A little bit of a yes, but I mean nothing as dramatic. I don't think as the slicing in half thing. That's a bit much. But one of the deaths that we did see on the stream is something that I do kind of have in my game. So I look forward to that.
Ooh.
Nice.
Also, there is one for the rest of us, which is sort of related. The style of deaths among the supporting characters in the Dagger of Amon-Ra seems much more cake-like
Yes.
than in Colonel's Bequest.
Agreed.
Did everyone become a cake in the time between the two games? And if so, what are your theories on this cake-pocalypse that came about? I think we're going to have to hold on to that one for the Dagger.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a very disturbing thought that the Laura's condition is contagious. In some way. Like she's a cake vampire.
It is entirely possible that everyone is cake in this universe.
Well, here's the thing. It's like, well, this game is set in New Orleans in Louisiana, and Dagger of Amon-Ra, I believe, is set in New York.
Yeah.
So something
are
has
we
happened
just-
if she's that contagious. Because she's
Yeah.
coming to
So did
New
we
York
all-
for the first time, so it's almost like the cake pandemic got ahead of her, even though she might be the originator, like Patient Zero.
Who knows?
That's pretty scary.
Did we all escape from a cake slum? Like these are this game stars. That's why we're all vaguely orange tinted. Is that we were all living in like a cake person slum on the fringes of human society?
And is that like just Louisiana, or is that like the whole thing?
I think we're going to have to see what happens, and I think we're going to have to make a judgment call when we start playing the sequel. I think it's one of those things.
Real quick, 12 pointed out that when I was telling all of our PCs, I was comparing them all to an excellent cupcake that I had, and I also mentioned that I don't think that cupcake place survived the pandemic.
Oh, shit.
And 12 is outraged that I compared everyone to cupcakes that wouldn't survive the pandemic.
Joseph Davies has a Colonel's Bequestion. And we keep missing his, so we can't.
Nope, bring it.
we have-
Let's go.
What is the best case endgame for Cake Laura? Will she harden and solidify like a fruitcake? Will she be eaten? Assuming she survives to her twilight years, how does Laura's story end?
Oh God, that's such a good question, and not a quick one to answer. I think your fruitcake theory is a good guess, though. That's about as good as you're gonna get. Like you could land a solid punch on someone without falling apart.
Yeah.
That you get tougher, but also slightly more fragile as you get older.
Do you think that maybe she starts to
denser, a
drink?
little wetter.
Because that's like a big component of, I think, what it gives fruitcake
yeah.
moistness. Like, so maybe if she starts to drink and maybe she like mists herself with booze, she might get denser as she acquires moisture.
And we know she eats, so everything she eats just becomes part of her cake. So she is like a fruitcake.
She becomes a firm, boozy fruitcake, like a hard-boiled fruitcake detective.
And I think this is like
Nice.
over years. Like this has happened over years.
Yes.
Yeah.
She'd be super heavy, like heavier than she would be if she was a human.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I mean like the original golem of where's it from? Prague?
Yeah, it's not
Wherever it's from. The original golem was like clay. She'd be at least as dense as that if she got a sufficiently boozy, firm fruitcake substance.
Absolutely.
You know?
Yeah.
Have some real oomph.
And they'll last
I was-
forever. She'd be immortal.
Pessimistic as I am in general, I was hoping for a sort of Pinocchio style story for Laura
Yeah, I
Bell,
was
where
thinking a
she
little
eventually,
bit of blue fairy kind of stuff.
No.
yeah, like eventually some form of magic would help her to become one of the humans that
Oh my
she
God,
so
maybe
enjoys
that was-
sniffing and investigating.
There's no magic.
Maybe that was how the Cakepocalypse happened.
Oh,
She misworded
Oh.
her wish.
oh my God. She wished.
Oh, it's like
She
that
wanted
one
to be
episode
like
of
everyone
Gargoyles.
else.
Oh no!
She wished to be normal. And so everybody else became cake. Oh.
Yeah. No, I'm so glad we fielded that question. That's exactly what it's going to be.
All right. Perfect.
Also, Matt, you just said there's no magic, and I love the idea that Laura's existence was derived by science.
It was science.
That's worse, you know. It actually is worse.
That's worse. Oh God. All right, everybody. We really got to go. We're way over time. If we didn't.
Alex has to wake up at stupid early
Yeah.
o'clock.
Yeah,
tomorrow.
stupid
Oh
o'clock.
no, I never go to bed before like 4 a.m. I'm still living Alberta time, and I gotta leave at like 3:30. So I'm just gonna be staying up, so I'll be fine.
Okay.
At least you can sleep on the plane a little bit.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I tried to get a seat with extra legroom, so I think I might actually be able to get some sleep.
That's good.
It's a short flight to Montreal.
Oh,
Right. You blink and you're there.
This won't even be my first all-nighter this week, let alone like, so it's not going to be a problem. Like,
I actually find those to be the problem. Like, if it's a couple days, no, I can do one day where I just don't sleep very much, and then I can be mostly normal. But when they start stacking up, that's when I get a bit worried about myself.
when I first joined the show, I was sleeping literally 8 hours a week.
Wow. It's that's
I've
hard to
improved that
believe.
since. I'm up to like 20 hours a week at least.
Oh my goodness.
Man.
Proud of you.
Yeah,
proud of
that's
you.
good. That's an
man.
improvement. So yeah, I shouldn't be even. Yeah. Excuse me. I should say yes. Very good work.
I still sleep a lot less than a human being needs to live.
Oh well. We're gonna have a good trip. We'll see you guys when we get back. I'll let you know.
Yeah, have fun.
I'll let you know how Dreamcatcher
That's
was.
So exciting.
We're gonna have fun.
Please.
And yeah.
Matt will describe in detail what the experience was like to physically touch every member of Dreamcatcher.
Yes. Don't worry. That's a planned thing. I'm not gonna overstep my bounds.
Are you gonna sniff them? It's like Laura.
It's gonna be weird because I'm gonna be in a lineup of people, and
He might. He may or almost certainly will sniff his hand afterward. However.
I don't know because like everybody's gonna be touching their hands.
True.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think it's gonna be great. I just don't. It's not.
I mean, it'll probably smell like a Lysol wipe.
It's probably gonna smell like everybody. Yeah. We'll see what happens. But anyway, I'll fill you guys all in next week. Anyway, leave us your Colonel's Bequestions You know we love you. Sorry about last week.
Leave us your questions for Krull. It is Krulltember.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Now.
Fuck that. We're not playing this next week.
You may want to leave questions for Krull instead of Colonel's Bequestions, or it may be a bit before we get around to them.
Yeah, that's okay, though.
Yeah.
It'll be November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, if
month
we
comes
missed...
after this. It comes after Krulltember.
If we missed your question, we apologize.
We can still field Colonel's Bequestions during Krulltember. It's just,
I refuse.
they'll be harder to find.
I refuse. It's not happening.
We had to have a frank discussion about spiders, and that cut into some of our Colonel's Bequestions.
And Captain Power. It's okay.
Taylor Swift.
Captain Bell.
It happens. It
You have
happens.
And Taylor Swift.
And Taylor Swift.
And farts.
And Alex's complex neurological issues.
I would change nothing.
No, of course.
Look, the conversations lead us. We do not lead the conversations.
You guys get 2 hours of content because of that. So I hope you enjoyed.
If we were doing 15-minute episodes, you'd probably be getting just about the same amount of
gameplay.
Colonel's Bequest that you normally would.
Yeah, that's true.
Also, to the kind soul who somehow feels like I possibly have the human capacity to do a edited full Let's Play version of our content that is only the gameplay and our commentary around the gameplay. I'm sorry to inform you that I don't think it is physically possible for me to actually do that.
That would be so hard to do.
Yeah.
We will stop in the middle of, just mid-walk and go off on a tangent for, half an hour.
I would have to rewatch the entire thing and edit on the fly.
We've gotten so bad, though. We used to back
real
in
bad.
back in the police quest days. We just sort of we riffed, but we played the game.
Yeah.
Now those days are
we
gone.
have altered the deal.
Yeah, we've altered the deal.
Pray we do not alter it.
We're more of a podcast with some gameplay. That's all we are.
I'm actually really curious where we evolve from there.
I know, right?
I
know.
How bad is this gonna get? I think it could get pretty bad.
We'll
It
get
could be
to
so
the
much
end
worse.
of the Sierra catalog, and then we will just devolve entirely into podcast.
Well, I mean, I think if we did a separate podcast, I think this would go down.
We might get some of this out of our-
we would
out
get
of
this
our
out of our system, and I
systems.
think we do more.
We have a podcast.
I know,
2
but
episodes.
and really, Krulltember is going to be mostly podcasts, so it's going to be,
We might get it out of our system by November when Colonel Bequest returns. We may be all podcasted out. We might really invest in the game.
That's true. That's true.
I like having the background of the game because there's always something to, if we don't have Colonel's questions or we don't have anything to address, there's always nice to have something to fall back on.
True.
So there's always the game here.
I mean, let's not kid ourselves. Even if there isn't anything to fall back on, we just keep talking. That's kind of how the show works.
Another good outlet for our bullshit would be, as I think we've discussed before on the show, going ghost hunting.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because all the famous haunted sites are in the States and stuff like that. That there's got to be lots of stupid Canadian locations that are supposedly haunted.
Yeah, actually. Yeah,
There's
any
that
historic
one
place
nice
will have a ghost
restaurant
tour.
in Bedford, over by the Chicken Burger.
Wait, we're supposed to be haunted?
This restaurant, I forget the name of it.
Oh yeah, Resto.
I went there.
Resto, yeah.
Resto. Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
Resto's
the Resto's supposed to be haunted. Yeah, I went there a few months ago. And
really good creme brulee.
I love Resto. They're great. They're great.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna.
That's so close.
Okay, but it's haunted. So this is definitely something we're going to need to address later because I can't believe you guys live nearby a nice haunted restaurant that with good creme brulee and it's never come up.
We'll have to figure it out.
Yeah.
We'll have to figure it out.
But I would love to make the trip out east and go ghost hunting.
Well, we'll wait for you. We'll do it. We'll do it, and we'll film it. I was just thinking, when we started the call today, we were all on our camera, and we were like, We should do this.
Yeah.
We're not a terrible looking group. You know what I'm saying?
Speak for yourself.
Alex is a cosmic horror.
Yeah, that's true. Alex is a cosmic horror. I think we should do it. I think it'll be fun.
All right.
One day, maybe we'll do it during Krull Timber. Who knows? We don't even know.
There you go.
We're winging it. See you next week, everybody. Stick and stay.
Here.
Bye,
Stick and stay,
y'all.
folks.
Stay. Bye.
Yeah. Stick and stay.